Welcome everybody to my tutorial on how to build a website with Astro. Astro is an insanely cool JavaScript framework that lets you build faster websites. It's a static site generator like Jekyll or Hugo. That is, you build a website. Before you deploy it, it gets rendered out to HTML and CSS, and if you want interactivity, also some JavaScript, but by default, no JavaScript. Here on their homepage is compared to Next.js. Now, what Next.js does differently is it's more of a full-blown JavaScript framework that uses React. It makes it quite heavy, but once you load it, it becomes very fast because you only need to load it once. Now, I know for a fact that Lego.com is a Next.js website, and the load time was not bad. It's quite fast. But now that it is loaded, it's going to be even faster once we move to new pages. And that's one of the advantages of, it's called a single page application, which is what Next.js is, or Gatsby, or ViewPress, or Nuxt.js. Astro is a multi-page application. That is, each page is an individual HTML file. And every time you navigate around an Astro website, your browser will go back to the server and download that HTML to display it to you. Now, Astro is a lot lighter if you choose it, if you want it to be. So you still get a lot of speed, and in many cases it is faster than a single page application. Now, the website we're going to be building is going to be Astro 1.0, well 1.6, but major version 1. We're going to be using Typescript, and then we're also going to be using something that is sort of controversial. I really like it. I think you should give it a try. It's called TailwindCSS. Let me just pull up the site here. It's a way of styling your website with classes like this: padding top 6, width 24, height 24. Typically, you would probably say this figure is a card, and then you'd go into a style sheet and you would give it, the background and the rounded and the padding in the style sheet. But with Tailwind, you write all of it in HTML. It looks a little verbose, but what you'll quickly find is that it's very easy to move fast, like they show here in this little demo. And I enjoy it a lot. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Well, let's just get started. First, you will need to have installed already Node 16 or above. I'm using Node 18 today. As not the latest version, but the second to latest version, I believe. And then you also need a package manager. You can use npm, yarn, or pnpm. If you're not quite sure what the differences are, I would suggest you use npm or pnpm. Pnpm is a better npm. It's faster, more space efficient, and you can type the same commands as I do. I use pnpm. Let's just get started, really. So the very first thing we're going to do is write pnpm create Astro latest, and this is just going to put us into a little wizard to create an Astro project. Thank you, Houston. So where would we like it? Well, I'm going to put it in a folder called Madman. And then we get an option to pick a template. I'm going to do empty, and it truly is empty. It's very empty, but that's the starting point we're going to pick. Would I like to install pnpm dependencies? Yes, I would. Go ahead. And again, it's just Y or N for yes or no. And then also I would like to initialize a Git repository. How would I like to set up TypeScript? I'm going to pick strict. It's a nice balance. There we go. Now our Astro project is created. So let's go into that folder, and then I'm going to open VS Code. I'm just going to do this. So my windows are out here on the side. So VS Code, if you use VS Code as well, you'll see that the first extension that's recommended is Astro. And we're going to say yes, because we need this for syntax highlighting and TypeScript checking and so on. So this is needed. And that's actually it. So here's what we've been given. It's very simple. We have one page, just says Astro, some basic HTML. We have, here's our package file. Again, only dependency is Astro. There's a favicon, which is SVG. Nothing really exciting, but let's try and running it. So the way you do that is you do npm run dev. If you use npm, is npm run dev, or if you use yarn, is yarn dev. You don't need to run. And there we go. Now it's running. Here, localhost 3000, Astro. Again, nothing really too exciting, but let's make it exciting. The first thing we need to do is we need to add some type aliases to our TS config. And the reason we're going to do this, I'll show it to you later, but it's going to save us a lot of trouble. So here's your TS config. What we want to add is compiler options. Base URL is this folder. Dot means current folder. And paths is going to allow us to do aliases. So the first alias I want is at components, and then anything inside of that is actually going to be pointing to source components, like so. So here we're just telling TypeScript that whenever I do add components, I actually want you to go to source components. And it might not look like it's a huge improvement, but it is, because as you get deeper within the file structure, you don't have to go back. Because normally, if you're like really deep in the file structure and you want to go to your components folder, then you do // to go back, and it gets really messy, and you can't always tell if you're doing it right. So this is just improving things. So I've typed out a couple of it. So I've also done layouts and then types and utils. Now these don't refer to a folder. These are going to refer to a file. So you don't need the /star. So once you've done this, you have a perfectly good TS config. And we don't need to touch this anymore. Now we need to create a layout. So our layout folder is going to be within source. Call it layouts. And our first layout is going to be base. It's just going to be the main layout that every page is going to be using. So I'm just going to call it base Astro here. Now every Astro file has these 3 slashes or dashes. That's what they are. It's called the front matter, and this is where your JavaScript code will be. And then below that you will have HTML code. Now our layout will not have any JavaScript for now. So I'm just going to type out some just simple HTML stuff. This is just super basic. Head, and then I'm going to tell it our character set for this page will be UTF-8. And then a title tag, just going to leave it empty for now. And then this tag here, very important, it's going to make your website responsive and be zoomed properly on mobile phones. like so. Oh, no misspellings, please. There we go. Initial scale 1. Cool. And then a body, which is where all our content is going to be. And then we're going to do slot. Slot is not standard HTML, but in terms of Astro, whenever you do slot, other pages can put things here where slot is. Cool. Then let's receive a title that pages can give to this layout. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to do this here. Const title equals Astro props. Now a prop is an input to a component. And this syntax here means basically that props is an object, and there will be a property called title and give us that. And with that title, we can put this here in a template / Okay, so now I've done this here. It's going to take the title, it's going to put it here inside the title. This is going to be replaced with whatever value is in title. And then I just want to add something that I want at the end of every title of every page. Ramblings of a Madman. That's going to be the name of my blog here. And there we go. Our base layout is done. So now let's use it on our index page. Now the way to use it is we go here, and as you can see, there's this front matter here. It's empty, but let's use it. So we're going to import base, and already VS Code suggests what to do, and this is it. Import base from layout space. Then we can delete this, and we can do base and up. And then I'm just going to type hello world. Now, do you see something wrong here? Well, I'll make it easy for you. Our base layout wants a title, but it's not getting it. So this is, it's not great. My problem is that VS Code is not complaining. It should be complaining because we're using TypeScript, and the whole point of TypeScript is catching errors like this. So what we're going to be doing real quick is we're going to tell Astro, you know, these props need to have a title of type string, just so you know. So within any Astro component, if you do interface props and then define the types, then you're telling it the props needs to have these properties. And now VS Code is complaining to us, missing title. Okay, I'll give you a title. Title, welcome. And there we go. Okay, let's see how that looks. Doesn't look great. Just gonna restart really quickly. There we go. And our title is working, and now hello world is working. Excellent. Good work so far. Now we're gonna create a nav bar. And for that, we're going to introduce a new folder called components. Remember, we created a type alias for it. Here we go, component. And let's create a new file called navbar astro. Again, make sure to create your front matter. Don't have to put anything in it for now. Then I'm going to create a basic layout for a navbar. Here on the left, I want my title, Ramblings of a Madman. And on the right, I want a list of links. So let's just type them out. So our first page is, oh my god. I have to apologize. I'm using a keyboard that's not actually, it's not showing me where the pound sign is. Let me pull it. Here we go. There we go. I've finally done it. The hardest battle is typing out a link. I'm just going to create 2 more. Right click, block. And again, I'm going to link that to href. Now, what it does when we put in a pound sign here, it basically links to nothing, but it tells the browser that it is a link and not just an empty anchor tag. And then about. There we go. That looks pretty nice. Also, hasn't done anything. That's fine. Let's go into our base layout. And this is a really good place to import our navbar and use it, because we probably want our navbar on every page, right? So let's pull it in like so, and there it is. Okay, not exactly a bar, but we'll look at that later. Now, did you notice when I was doing the navbar, like there's so much repetition here? What if we wanted to make each of these items bold? I'd have to put in a strong tag and do that for every single one. That is such a waste of time, and it's not dry. Don't repeat yourself. So instead, we're going to take advantage of the fact that this is JavaScript. So I'm going to create an array here called items. And the items are going to be my elements. So I'm going to do just an array of objects with a title and a path. And let's create 2 more. Okay. Block. About. Give it the proper path. There we go. And then I can replace this. Also, I'm just going to cut this. We'll put it back later. So then we, again, do our curly braces, which is a template. And we're telling this now we're doing JavaScript here. Do items.map, which is going to loop over each item and let us return something to spit out. So I'm going to do like so. Bada-bam. Paste this in, and then our link is going to be item.path. And again, you see this type hinting as I'm typing it out. It's showing me the properties I have available, and that is thanks to TypeScript, and that's why TypeScript is so loved. Also, if I type something that isn't there, bruh, that's not there. It's telling me there's no property. Why would you do that? That's something JavaScript wouldn't catch until it's in the browser and it's not working. So there we go. Title, save. Now it's all bold and it's looped. It's using our new thing here. We're going to remove strong because I don't actually want it bold. And there we go. That is really, really nice. Now I'm just going to create another page here. The way pages work in Astro is that any file within pages becomes a page. And it becomes a page at the path of the name of the file. So we do about Astro. Boop. And let's quickly import our base layout like so. And we use it like before. Bada bam. Have to give it a title. Let's just say about me. And I'm gonna put a little title in here about the madman. Very nice. And now the about link is going to work and put us here. Now blog is not going to work because we don't have any page for that. So that's how you add another page to Astro. Now, in case you're not aware, index is a special case. It doesn't actually sit at index. Well, it does not. No, it does not. Index means the root, so nothing. The root of this website is index. So Now, next up, I want to make it look a little nicer. I'm not a huge fan of this look. So one of the first things I want to do is add a really nice font. And you'd almost be surprised at how much a nice font can help out something, a website like this. So let's download Inter, which is one of my all-time favorites. Free to use, very beautiful, and overall quite pleasing to work with. Where's Inter? Where have you gone, boy? There. Interweb. And then, okay, yeah. So, I would like Inter regular. I would like Inter bold. And I would like Inter italic. Now I'm just going to copy them over, and a good place to put them in would be in public. So any file in public is going to get copied over to your final website without any processing at the root of your website. So if we do new folder called fonts, and I'm going to put in my fonts. Where am I? I'm just going to drag them over. There we go. Now, if we did this, we went to our website and do /fonts. We do inter regular.waf2. It's going to download it. So there it is. Now to actually use the font, let's hop into our base and create a style tag. And then there's a specific thing you can do in CSS called font face, which is going to let you load a font and use it on your website. So font family is inter. The source is going to be /fonts/ the name of the file, regular.waf2. And then we're just going to tell it our format is waf2. Like that. Then I'm going to do a font display swap. This is going to tell the browser how to display the text while the font is loading. And swap means it's going to fall back to a different font while it's loading. And then once it's loaded, the font is going to show the font. That way your users on a slower connection can still enjoy your website content while it's loading a font. And then I'm going to tell it the weight, which is 400. And 400 is the weight of just normal text. That's not bold or thin or anything. I'm just going to copy and paste. And then we're going to do the same for italic. Except I'm going to tell it that this font is for the italic style. And then I already have it copied. And then again for bold. And the font weight for bold is 700. So now the browser knows how to load the font. So let's use it. Body, font family, inter, and then fall back to sans serif. And there we go. Oh my, that looks excellent. Really good. I'm quite happy with that. But nowhere near done. Now it's time to style our website properly. So we're going to install Tailwind. Now Astro makes it really easy to add integrations. So all you have to do is do npm Astro or npm run Astro Tailwind, like so. And it's going to open a little wizard again. And first it's going to say, is it okay to install it? And yes, it is. And then it's going to, in a moment, okay, are you okay to generate a Tailwind config? Yes, please. And then, can I update your Astro config? And yes, you can. And that's it. Now, one more thing I need to add is typography. So we can do pnpm i-d and then add TailwindCSS / typography. Like so. And now typography is a plugin for Tailwind that adds some more typography classes that we'll need later. And then to use typography plugin, we go to your Tailwind config like so, and hop into the plugins array, and then you type require, and then the typography library that we just installed. And that's it. Now, let's hop back into our base layout and remove this thing here telling the browser to use enter. And instead, we tell Tailwind to do it. So this theme extend is going to let you override variables of Tailwind. And one of them is going to be what font to use. So here I'm just going to create an array of the fonts I wanted to use in the order of availability. So if Inter is loaded, then use that. If not, then Helvetica. And if that's not possible, then Arial. And then if that's not possible, just give me a sans serif. Okay. And let's start our dev server again. And yep, there we go. Now you can see Tailwind is loaded because it's going to go in and it's going to reset the CSS. So it's going to remove all styling. And then we have to do it ourselves. So let's do exactly that. Now I'm just going to do this so you can see me. Oh, I can't do that. Here we go. Yes, sirs. Okay, because what we're going to do now is we're going to style our navbar. And again, there's nothing, no technical requirement to do it the way I do it. I'm going to do just a super simple way I like it. So first I'm going to say use flex. It's going to put the title and the items next to each other. Then I'm going to change the background to black and the text to white. Like this. And that's it so far. Then I'm going to go on to the title of the website. I'm going to say I want it to be a bold font. I want the text to be large. And I want a margin to the left of 4. There we go. Now onto the items. Also, okay, we don't need anything here for now. Let's hop into our list here, and then again, I want it to be flex, so it's next to each other. Ah, very nice. It's looking like something now. Then I'm going to go on to the link. I'm going to say I want a certain padding. It's going to give us the size here, and then block. And then I'm just going to quickly do, when you hover, the background becomes a dark gray, like so. Yes, that's nice. Now the title, I want that in the middle. So if I go back here and I do item center, it's going to do it a vertical centering. That looks really good. And then I want the items over here on the right. So the way to do that in Flex is you'd say this div here, which contains all the items. The margin to your left will be automatic, which is just all of it. There we go. That looks really quite nice. All right. That was fun. Now I'm going to put away Chrome. I think. Yes, I am. Yeah, still getting used to Stage Manager on the new Mac OS, but I like it so far. I think it's really neat. Cool. Now the nav bar is done. Let's I'm just gonna add a little bit of content here to our homepage. Again, you know, no need to follow exactly what I'm doing. You know, this is not really a particular technical reason to do it the way I'm doing it here. So just whatever you think is appropriate. You can also just skip over this. Just gonna do a bit of styling here. And Madman welcomes you. Very nice. I'm just going to update quickly the base layout to center the content. I think that would look really nice. So if we do a cheeky little div, put our slot inside of it, so all content is inside. Then we're going to do max width 5XL. Again, you can just experiment it. It's not like I know exactly how much 5XL is, but it feels right. And then margin top of 16. And very nice. Now on to the next part, which is going to be adding some content to your website. So the way I'm going to show you is using Markdown. Markdown is very easy to use with Astro because you can just put it in your pages folder and it will work. So I'm going to create a new folder called posts, and then I'm going to create a new blog post called my awesome blog post.md, which is Markdown. And interestingly, Markdown also uses front matter, so you need those 3 dashes again. Then first we need to just tell Astro which layout to use. So layouts blog post.astro. Very nice. And then I'm just going to copy some random text in here. What we need to do before this works, we need to create another layout that we're going to use for blog posts. So let's hop into layouts, and I'm going to do a new one called blog post.astro. Ba-da-bam! Front matter. I'm going to import our base layout. I'm going to use that as a base. Just going to give it a dummy title. Blog post. Not particularly useful, but that's what we're going to do for now. And then slot. And then within our blog post, we've already done our layout pointing to this new blog post one. So if you try and load it up, it should just work straight off the bat. Post / my awesome blog post. Yep, there you go. Here's our text. So let's work with that for now. First, I want to add a couple fields to our blog post here. So first I'm going to give it a title called my first blog post. And then we're going to give it a date. There we go. Now this information we've just added in our blog post, we can receive it in the layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do const title and date. It's going to equal astro.props.frontmatter. And then I'm going to use that to show a little title. Do this title. And ta-da, it now shows the title. Let's just make that look a little bit nicer. Okay, I've chosen to do text 3XL here. Then I also want to show the date just below here. Like so. And oh, that's lovely. Now, you remember how we installed that typography plugin? Well, it's going to do some magic for us. It's going to save us a lot of time. It adds a class called Prose. And boop. Ah, yes. Just styles the text automatically. And it looks great. And it does also block quotes and all sorts of cool things. Now let's do some proper spacing. So first of all, this header area, I'm going to do a little bit of margin below. And then also the text, I want a little bit of margin below it. Nice. The date is it's a little ugly like this. So let's create a way to format it nicely. So I'm going to do a little function here called format date. As input, it will take a string, and it will also output a string, like so. Then what we're going to return is first we're going to parse the date string, create a date object. I'm going to do to locale date string. As a base, I'm going to pick UK time. I am in London after all. And then I'm just going to pass in a couple options here that's going to make it look a little bit nicer. So I want the year format to be numeric. I want the month format to be long. And I want the day format to be numeric as well. Then let's use this function here, format date, and then input the date we had before, and boop, and there you go. Looks a lot nicer. And it's no longer ambiguous. Now let's just extremely quickly add a few more posts. I'm going to create one called I need help.md. I am the madman after all. Already prepared a cheeky little post I can copy over to save us some time. Don't need that. And boop. And then just one more. So we have 3. Woo, I love TypeScript. And this is, oh, not D. D is a programming language. We want MD for Markdown. And again, I prepared a cheeky little thing to save us some time. Now, I actually do love TypeScript, so this might as well be me typing this out. And holy, okay, let's check it out. I need help. Okay, here we go. Just fix that up really quickly. So now we have our 3 blog posts. Now, navigating to our blog post by typing out the URL is not that nice to work with. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an index page here in post, index.astro. Ba-da-bam. I'm going to import our base layout, like always, and just use it. Base. Give it a cheeky little title. Probably just blog posts. I'm also going to create a heading here called blog post. Can't leave it unstyled. A little bit of margin below and a big title. So let's try going to blog. That's not going to work because we put the index in post. So let's quickly update our nav bar to reflect this. Posts. There. And block. And there we go. Now I'd like a list of the blog posts here. So let's implement that. The way we're going to do this is we're going to do const post. It's going to be, first we'll wait because it's an asynchronous function. Do astro.glob, and then we're going to tell it search for markdown files in this folder, like so. And then we are going to render out the posts it finds, like so. Just going to update, made a spelling mistake there. Post.map, post. For each post, I want a div. And within that div, I want a link, like so. I want the, so made a mistake here. I want inside the link, I want the title. So I'm going to do post.frontmatter.title. I want it to link to the post. I'm going to do post.URL. And let's see how that looks. Here we go. And oh, that works. Very nice. Let's just style it up really quickly. Can't have it looking like crap, honestly. Excuse my swearing. I'm just gonna do something here. Something simple that I like. Again, don't have to follow my styling. I am not particularly creative. And whenever you hover, there should be an underline. And there we go. Looks a little nicer. Cool. So now we've added our content. Now, if you're still with me, I think you should pat yourself on the back. You've done good work. And I have a little video I want to show you that I saw earlier today from Reddit. Look at this lady here. She's talking about her hair. She didn't know it was growing from her head. She thought it was like at the edge. I just thought it was amusing, and it is a little dumb. It's a little dumb, yes. But to be honest, you know, it's not that dumb. I kind of see where she comes from on that one. Anyways, that was your little reward. I can reveal I don't have any more videos like that. So now it's just finishing up this site. Now I have a concern. You see here, when I do front matter dot, no, Siri. Sorry Siri, I'm just recording a video here, man. Okay. Moving on. My concern is when you look at the front matter, it doesn't know what properties there are and aren't. So if you do front matter.brow, it's just happy. And that's a problem. So let's type it properly. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a new file in source called types.ts. We're going to create a blog post front matter type. So I'm going to do it like this. Front matter. And on it, there's going to be a title, which is a string. And there's going to be a date, which is a string. And then we're going to export from this file this type. That part is done. Then we pop in here really quickly. And we say props is going to be equal to interesting. Yeah. I'm going to say type props is going to be equal to markdown layout props blog post front matter. Then we need to import this type quickly from Astro. From Astro. And ta-da! Now it knows. Now it knows in our blog post layout. Let's quickly hop into our post index here, because you can tell it too. So I'm going to import type blog post front matter. And then we're going to tell glob that whatever markdown you find, the front matter is going to look like this. And now it knows what's on the front matter. And that's one thing you're going to find. When you're working with TypeScript, you can find many ways to avoid having to type your things. It will probably work, and it'll probably not always complain. But the whole benefit of using TypeScript is that if you tell it what you're expecting, you tell it, my blog post is going to have a title, it's going to have a date, and it's not going to have anything else. It's going to help you write your code. So if you accidentally ask for, I don't know, a description, it's going to say, but this blog post won't have a description because it's not possible. So yeah. Now that we've done this, I just want to sort by date. But before doing that, I just want to show the date in our cheeky little list. So it doesn't show what date the blog post is posted. So I'm just going to do that here. Oh, yeah, no, that was dumb. No way that was going to work. It's on the front matter date. There we go. Well, we had this problem before with formatting. So rather than typing out the format date function again, I'm going to create a new file called utilities. I'm going to copy over this function. Boop. I'm going to export it. Format date. Then we'll just quickly pop in here. We'll do import format date from utils. Now you're happy. And I will also be happy once I do this. I'm going to import it here on our block index page. I'm going to do format date. And bam. And now that's really nicely formatted as well. Cool. Well, what you can see, it's not sorted by date at all, which is, I think it's rare. You wouldn't want your blog post sorted by date. So let's just quickly do that. First, I'm going to change the constant to let. So we're just saying I want to be able to change the value of posts. Then I'm just going to create a quick type alias. I'm going to call it a post is equal to a markdown instance of blog post front matter. We need to very quickly import the type markdown instance from Astro. And there we go. Then let's sort the post. We're going to say post is going to be equal to post.sort. The way the sort function works is going to take in a function that's going to take in two elements, and then you have to compare if they're the same or one is greater than the other and needs to swap places. So A is going to be equal to a post and B is going to be equal to a post. And you need to return a number. There we go. So if nothing needs to change, the number we need to return is 0. If A is bigger than B, or in this case I believe older, then we return -1. And if it's the other way around, B is older than A, then we have to return the number 1. There we go. And now you can see the oldest or the newest is on top. If for some reason you'd like to sort it the other way around, so you have the oldest on top, then you just switch A and B here. Swap these places, or the number, whichever way you prefer. Cool. Now we have this really neat blog post site. One thing I'd like to show you how to do is how to support drafts. So first, let's quickly hop into our type here, and I'm going to say our blog post might have the property draft, true or false. The question mark is the might. It might have it. It doesn't have to, but it might. And then I'm not so sure about my opinion piece here on Typescript, so I'm just going to say actually that is a draft. Draft true. Now, already at this stage, with this, Astro will not put this blog post in the final website, but it will still show it here, and we still have some more work to do. Now, there's two things I'd like to add now that we've added draft possibility, or the draft capability first in our... Okay, now that we've added drafts, what I want to do is I want in our list here, I want to show if a post is a draft. Now the way we're going to do this is we do post.frontmatter.draft and then whatever we want to show. So we're saying if draft is true, then show this, what I'm about to write here. So I want to just do draft. Just gonna style it up so it looks a little nice. First, let's do a red background and some white text on that, and inline, and a little bit of padding. There we go. Looks like this. Looks real nice. I also want to add the same thing to the actual page. So I'm just gonna copy this, add a space there, copy this, go over to our layout here, then I'm going to pull it out there and do this, and then instead of post.frontmatter, it's just draft, and then here we probably need a bit of extra space, and there we go. Now it also shows draft here on this page. Now, I like this because you can write your Markdown in the local copy of your website, and if you're working on something else on your website and you have drafts, it will show all your draft, but it will also show that it is a draft, and it won't be there in the final website once you build it. Just to put your mind at ease. Now, when we build it, this page won't be built because it's a draft, but it will still be shown here on this list. So let's just very quickly filter it out. And the way we do that, if we go here to our posts page, then I'm just going to say if we are in production, which means we're not developing on it. This is, the final version that we're going to show people. Then the posts needs just to quickly filter out draft posts. Do an inline function here, frontmatter.draft. So you're going to say posts is going to be equal to posts where it's not a draft. Boop. No effect. But if we just change it to, if we're in dev, filter out drafts, it works. So now I'm just going to switch it back to production. There we go. So now when we build this, then this draft would be gone. Like it never existed. Now, this is a little bit boring. So I think what I really want is adding a featured image between the title here and the content. So we're going to need another Astro integration that's called image. So we're going to do PNP Astro add image. Again, can you install it? Yes, you can. And you can update there, it's fine. And then we also need to add a dependency called sharp, pnpm add sharp. Cool. Then we have to hop into this file here called env.d.ts, and then just update this reference tag here to this. So it reads at astrojs/image/client. Then I'm just going to add a couple pictures to this folder here. I'm going to call it images. Yeah, I'm just going to add 3 pictures from Unsplash. Bam. And bam. And then I'm going to rename them to match the name of a blog post. I'm going to do, this one is I Need Help. Next one is going to be My Awesome Blog Post. And last one's going to be Woo! 4 O's. I love Typescript. Very nice. And well, let's hop into our blog post layout here. And first, we have to import a component called picture from astrojs/image/components, like so. Then to find the name of the image, I've matched them to the name of the post. So all we have to do is the name, I call it a slug, which is this hyphenated version of the title. The slug is going to be equal to front matter. What? Okay, not front matter actually. It will. Okay, to find the slug, we need to first get the URL of the Markdown file, which is something we're going to do like this. We're going to say, give me the URL from astro.props. Then we're going to do URL.split by slash, and then the third element, which is going to give us the name. Then I wanted to put it here between the text and the content. So let's create the component here, picture. Now what the picture needs is, first of all, a little bit of spacing, do margin bottom. Then we need to select the source of the image, which is going to be /images, and then that slug we just calculated or found. Oh, messed up there. .jpg. Then, because we want it to be responsive, we have to tell it what widths to generate. So I'm just going to do really small, a little bit bigger, and then the maximum size that it would be on a page. And then sizes, we have to tell it, we have to hint at the browser how to display these sizes. So I'm just going to do, when the web page is less than 400 pixels, that's the version you show. When it's less than 600 pixels, and that's the version you show. Otherwise, show the big one. Again, this is a strong hint, but it is up to the browser which ones to show. And then we're going to tell it the aspect ratio. Now, I really like the aspect ratio of 5:3. Relatively tall, but I think it looks really nice. Then you need alt, which is for people who use screen readers that can't see the image, so you have to describe it. I'm just going to say image. Not very helpful at all, pretty much. Yeah. Oh, I made a misspelling here. It's widths. There we go. That should do it. So let's just start our Astro server again and have a look at our work. That is beautiful. I have a feeling I might have misspelled some. Okay. The reason that it's not working is actually, and I apologize for this, I forgot to show you something. So, yeah, I forgot to show you something. We have to just quickly hop into the Astro config and then tell image here to use Sharp that we also installed. We've already installed that. So it's like this, astro.js/image/sharp. Now, the reason for this is this integration, it is in alpha or beta. So there are some, few bugs here and there. And I find that the Sharp version works the best. So let's just try and run it again. pnpm dev. Yep. And there we go. Working beautifully. Let's go ahead and remove one of the pictures. I'm going to remove it for I need help. And let's go over to that page. It will just look like it can't find a picture, but what we actually want is to not show it at all. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to check if there even is a picture to show. So first we need to add an additional library. Or it's not a library, it's types. We have to install node types. So I'm going to do pnpm add -d add types/node. Nice. With that done, let us restart our server and go back into code. And then I want to import fs from node fs/promises. And fs stands for file system, so it's going to allow us to have a look at our files. So I'm going to create a variable called image exists true. So we're just going to assume it does. And then let's display the picture if image exists is true, which is like so. There we go. And then let's check if it actually does exist. So we're going to try to load some statistics about the image. There we go. Let's construct a URL. So from here we go back to then public images /slug.jpg. And then merge that with the URL of the current file. If that fails, we catch it and we say, well, then the image doesn't exist. Like so. And you will see it doesn't show the image, but it would still show it on a page that does have an image. So good so far, and thank you for staying with me. Now we're going to add support for arbitrary image file formats. What if you don't want to use JPEG? Then what? Well, worry not. Let's update it to work with that. Cool. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a PNG image to replace this Typescript image. Yeet. Get rid of that. You have been replaced by this PNG. Oh my god. I didn't copy properly. That's fine. Woo. 4 O's. I love Typescript. This page will no longer have an image. That's fine. To be expected. So now we need to update our image logic here. First of all, let's update this node import to just be node.fs. Then I'm going to create a list of supported image formats. Now this is what's supported by Sharp, so it supports JPEG, as you've seen. It supports PNG. Oops-a-daisy. It supports WebP. It supports AWIF. Supports TIFF. And here's an alternative file format for that. It supports GIF. And also SVG. And that's it. Then, now that we know what formats would be supported, we need to see if we can find any image with the slug and a supported image format. So I'm going to do const found image format, and then we're going to there we go. Image formats dot find format is going to be a string. I will give you back a Boolean. And let's try to actually, you know what? Let's make things a little cleaner. So first, let's create a function to construct a path to the image. So I'm going to do const image path. Input is going to be a file name, which is a string, and I'm going to give you back a URL to work with. And then I'm going to return new URL, like we did before. Let's get those ticks. Then backpack, public, images, file name. And it has to be merged with import meta URL. Cool. Then we need to try and access that image path. Again, it's going to be slug.format. Now, if there's no error here, then yes, this format exists. And if there was an error, then we catch it and say, no, this format won't work because it doesn't exist. Very nice. Then we say, instead of image exists, we say found image format does not equal undefined. Then we do, instead of JPEG, we do this. Okay. Well, as you can see, it doesn't work, and you might have already spotted it. It's because I made a spelling mistake here. There we go. And reload. And there's the image. Now loaded from PNG. Now this works excellently. You know, it's just brilliant. Really, really good work. Thank you, me. One problem is when we build it, it's going to stop working. And the reason is we are checking, does the file exist from the perspective of this blog post Astro file? So we're here, then we go back to source, back to root, then we go into public, images, and then look in here. That's not going to work in production. So we're just going to add a little check. Are we in production? As in, are we building the site? Then we return a new URL. And then we just, when we build it, it's going to be, the file perspective is going to be the root of the folder. And if you have absolutely no clue what I'm talking about, that is fine. It's a little quirk of Astro. You know, there's some inconsistencies between when you're developing and when you're building the site that you might run into. I've caught them for you here. Just be aware if there's something that doesn't make sense, like something that's working fine and then you build it and it doesn't work fine. Could be some sort of inconsistency there, and that is a teeny tiny problem with Astro. But with this little check, we're saying if we're building, this is the path to use, now it's going to work just fine, no problem. And that is all the work done on using a featured image. Next up, we're going to do something very important, and it's called taxonomy. Now, taxonomy is the science of classifying objects. And in this case, it will be the science of classifying blog posts. So first, I want to add some tags to our Typescript thing here. I'm just going to do tags, this little array here. First, Typescript. Makes sense, of course. Opinion, also pretty cool. And then I need help. I'm also going to do a tag here. Tag is going to be also opinion, because my opinion is that I need help. Cool. Then let's update our type for the front matter to say there might be tags, which is going to be an array of strings. Nice. Let's show our tags. So I only want to show it here on when you're loaded into a post. And I want to show it here as a little list above the title, but below the draft badge. So that would be right here. First, let's pull that in like that. And then we say, if there are tags, then show them. Again, as always, a little bit of spacing. Never hurt anyone. Tags.map. Again, for each of the tags, I want a very nice link here. That's going to go and link to your posts /tag /tag.to lowercase. And then inside, I would like just the contents of the tag. Like that. There we go. Now these link to a page we haven't created yet, but we're going to create one. I just want to finish up styling. So what I have in mind, I have a little vision here. I'm going to do, again, a bit of spacing. I want to do uppercase. I want to make them blue, just so you know it's a link as well. That's nice. Then I want to put a hashtag in front. Oh, how do I feel so incompetent. I don't know how to make one on this keyboard. One sec. Let me copy one. There. And then I want the text of the tag, I want it to be bold. And that should do it. Then I'm satisfied. Nice. That looks really nice. Now let's create a page here. So this isn't a 404. So the way we do that, we pop into posts, and then I'm going to create a folder called tag. And then within that, I'm going to create a page here. It's called square bracket tag, square bracket Astro. And what this means is anything. It's not anything in particular. You can take in a value. And then I'm going to do first. I'm going to import our layout like we always do. Import base. Yep. And BEP. And hello world. And the title is going to be welcome. Now, I just want to show you, if we hadn't done the type aliasing that we did here for layout, this is how we'd import it. So we'd do one back, one back, one back, layouts. A little clunky. I don't like it, so I much prefer it this way. I think it looks quite nice. Then, well, if we load this, Astro is going to complain. It's going to say, you need get static paths. And the thing is, Astro doesn't know what tags there are. How would it know? So it can't build the pages. So we have to tell it, these are the tags there might be. So let's find out what it might be. So first I'm just going to load in the blog post front matter type. Then I'm going to create this function that they want. What do you want from me? I want to get static paths, like so. First up, let's find all the posts, like so. .glob, and the posts you're going to find are going to be of this type. And I want you to look the folder above, like that. Then we're going to create a little array here of the tags. It's going to be a string array. That's empty. There we go. And we're going to look over each post, like so. I'm going to say if this post has tags, add them to our little array that we created. Push. Then I'm going to do ... post.frontmatter.tags. And the ... is just going to pull out the tags into individual elements, and it's going to append them to our tags array. Now, this tags variable is going to hold all of the tags that we've ever used in any of our posts. And that's excellent. Now we just need to return a list of the params that this page might expect to receive, so Astro knows what to render when it comes time to build. So I'm just going to loop over the tags. And then for each tag, I'm going to return this. I'm going to say params. And the tag is this tag, the 2 lowercase, because I want it that way. And there we go. And now Astro is happy because it knows any tag that it might receive. There's opinion. There's going to be Typescript. There's no tag called bra, so it can tell you that's not there. Now with that done, let's ask Astro to give us that tag like this. Astro.params. Now we have the tag. Then first I'm going to update the title. I'm going to say tag blog posts. Let's go back to one that actually exists. There we go, opinion blog posts. Then I'm going to copy this title. I like the look of it. Like that. I'm just going to add a little text here that shows you which tag we're on. So we're going to do showing blog posts for tag posts. There we go. Showing blog posts for opinion posts. No. Here we go. For the opinion tag. And then, you know what? Let's even make it bold. Yes, I think this is really good. Nice. Now, what I want here, obviously, is a list of the blog posts with the opinion tag. But we already have a list here. So let's just first take this and put it into its own component. So I'm going to do a new component called posts list.astro. And it's basically just going to be all the good parts from this page here. So first, I want this. I want, oh, I can't do that. Yeah, I want this. I want this. I would like this, please. I would like all of this as well. And let's take it out. And boop, put it in here. Then this is going to go here. Yeah, obviously it wants to know post. So what we're going to do is I'm going to say this component is going to be expecting a prop called posts, which is going to be an array of posts like this. And let's pull it in like so. So equal astro.props. I should sort this one out. This one is a little unhappy because I took away this type. Let's put that back in. There we go. And also import this brand new component that we created. Posts lists from component / post list. Bada bang. Do post list posts. And there. I have a concern I've said the word post too much, but as you can see, nothing's changed, which is good. We did not expect to change, but what we can do is hop in here and we can also import the post list here. Import post list. Nice. And we want to do this also. I'm going to copy these two lines here. Copy, copy. What's the problem? Oh yeah, duplicate. I don't need to import the type again. Already done that. Here. Go back one. This is going to give us all the posts. So if we went to a particular tag, it's just going to be the same thing once we put in, not that, the component. Yeah, just the same page. Not really what we want. So let's just quickly filter. So we do post is going to be equal to post.filter, where post dot actually, this is a little bit more complicated than I thought. Okay. Create a function here. The complication comes from the fact that I want in the Markdown, I want the tag to be case insensitive. So we can't just say like, is this tag here? Because it might have a different uppercase, lowercase situation. So I'm just going to add a bit more here. I'm going to do a variable called should show, by default, no. And then we're going to do post.frontmatter.tags dot for each post tag. So I'm going to loop over every tag and we say if the tag lowercase is equal to the current tag of the page, then yes, this post should be shown. And then we return that should show. Misspelled return. And there you go. And now it's filtered correctly. If we go to opinion, it will show two of them. Now, I also, again, another thing I want is I want the opinion to be uppercase again. So I'm just going to create a new utility function to capitalize each letter in every word in every sentence, in a sentence. Capitalize sentence. The input is going to be a string, and I'm going to give you a string back. Then I'm going to split this sentence by spaces. And then we are going to uppercase each first letter. Just going to create a for loop here. Yeah, you if you don't want to uppercase like I want, you can just ignore this, or you can copy it over to your project. Really up to you. You might even not want tags, and you're just watching this to see what I'm going to say. And then substr is deprecated, but substring is not. And then we return the words joined back together. And bam. And then we also need to export it. Then let's import it. Our new function here. Import capitalize from utils. And say the tag should be capitalized here. And also in the title of the page. And yes, the complaint is the tag is not necessarily a string. I'm gonna tell you it is a string. There we go. And our opinion is uppercase, and so would TypeScript be. This I like. Now the good news is we're almost done here. Almost done. I have some finishing touches I want to show you that I think every Astro site needs. Yeah, so let's get started with that. The finishing touches. First, let's add a sitemap, and this is something that Google and Bing, if you care, or DuckDuckGo uses to know what pages are on your website. Again, with everything to do with search engines, it's not necessarily a directive, it's more like hinting, but it's good practice to have it. So there's an integration called sitemap that we can add like so. p-npm astro add sitemap. Gonna give us a little wizard. Can you add this? Yes, you can. It's gonna ask us if we can update the config, and yes, you can. And there we go. One thing we need to do in our config is we have to tell it the URL of our site that we expect it to live at. So I expect this site to be at madman.simsa.io. And that's really it to add a site index. So let's do p-npm build, or it's called a sitemap, sorry. And also, just going back to the draft, you can see how it's skipping it when we build it. And if I do p-npm preview, it's not here anymore. But what is here is the sitemap, which is like this here. And the actual content is here and here. We have a URL. Each URL in our page is right here, just ready for Google to use if they want it, which they do. Next up, I want to do Astro compress, because if you look at the result of the build, there's a little bit of white space, a lot of white space actually, and the browser does not care about the white space at all. Like, it really couldn't care less. So there's another integration called Astro compress. Here, p-npm astro add astro compress. Yep. Go ahead and add it. Bop, bop, bop. You can't update my config. Now I'm gonna just clean up the config a little bit. I'm gonna remove all these comments. You know, remove this and this and this. Arrange this a little more neatly. Yes, this is nice. And then one thing I just want to tell Compress to keep its hands off my images, because we already have Astro Image, which is going to do all image optimization necessary. Yep. And if we just, let me just show you, pnpm build. As you can see, it's compressed all of it. And if we go back to the HTML, it's now on one line, a little bit smaller. And you know, it's actually not an insignificant amount of reduction. It's like 20% on some of these pages. So thank you, man. I'm happy with that. Now, every page needs a favicon. Literally. Well, not according to the law. Now, the simplest way to add a favicon is this really excellent website called Real Favicon Generator. And you just upload an image. And there's one particular image that I always use, which is this. It's an older emoji. It's not really how I look anymore. I never had a mustache. I don't have short hair anymore. But yeah. So it's gonna let you customize a bunch of ways your icon is gonna be used by different pieces of software. Different browsers, phones, and that. I'm not going to mess too much with it, except this. I can't stand orange like that. And then when you say generate your favicons in HTML code, it's going to quickly work on it. And there we go. Download it, unzip it, and here it is for me. I'm just going to move it over to my other screen, and then we're going to put it at the root of public, so it just gets copied straight over. Public, there we go. And then also gives you these tags here that we are going to put in our base layout. Base, and I'm just gonna put them here, and that's it. Now you have a favicon. So I'm just gonna pull up the dev server, and I'm going to show you that now my winking little face will be here in our beautiful favicon. That was really nice. And that's it. That's what I have to show you on using Astro. I hope you've enjoyed building a site, and I hope you go on to build something much cooler than this. You know, I'm giving you the bricks, and now you must lay them yourselves, or whatever you might say. Now, when you're done laying the bricks, you have to deploy them. Okay, I'll stop with the analogy. You have to deploy your website. Now, the really cool thing about Astro is that it spits out static files, and they're very easy and also very cheap to host. So there are plenty of providers that will let you do it for free, and they're all really good. There's Surge, SH, there's Render, Versal, Netlify, Cloudflare Pages. You can put it in an Amazon S3 bucket. Now I'm going to show you how to set it up with Cloudflare Pages, get it hosted there. The cool thing about Cloudflare Pages is that it's free, and it's like free forever, no matter how much traffic you get. So to do that, first I'm going to git commit our work. Git commit, and our message is going to be initial commit. Oh, my bad. We have to add our changes, so track our changes. Okay, there we go. Then I'm just going to log into GitHub and create a repo to put this stuff in. Oh, there we go. I'm going to enter two-factor code. Okay, and then we're going to do a new repo. I'm going to call it Madman and create repository. It's going to give us the commands to push up our code here. First add that, and then switch to branch main. And then git push origin main. Right. Yeah. That PNG image that I added is 25 megabytes. So, you know, bit of a crazy one. Now, while that works, we'll just head over to Cloudflare. Accept all the cookies. I love cookies, man. Sign into the dashboard. Again, two-factor. And pages. And then we're going to do create a project, connect to Git. Now, what's really cool, and this is not just Cloudflare that does this, pretty much every hosting provider will build the site for you from your Git repository. So when you create a change, you commit it, and it will automatically be built and deployed. That's really, really nice. There you go. Now our changes have been pushed up, and you can see them here on GitHub. Here's our site. And then I did create project, connect to Git, and if you don't already have your GitHub account connected, you can add it. It's going to prompt you to do it. Then I'm going to select the Madman repo and begin setup. The framework preset, I don't know. Yeah, there's Astro. They already know. And that's it. Save and deploy. And then Cloudflare is going to build it for us. In a moment, they will. Initializing our build environment, cloning it over. Take a little while. Oh, 3 seconds. Well, I guess the Cloudflare infrastructure has decent internet speeds. All right, here we go. The site has been built. Just for the sake of transparency, I did run into another problem with that PNG file being too big. So I went ahead and minified it and fixed that up. And I also added a custom domain that does not appear to be ready yet, but it will be when you watch this video. Anyways, let's just visit our site. Here it is. And here's our posts, our blog posts. Very nice. And with the image. And there's also, there's just something Carthagic. I don't know how to pronounce it, but something really nice about, you know, finishing up your work and uploading it to a proper URL. So yeah, thank you so much for watching all the way through here, and sorry a bit for the rambling. You know, I've been out of the game for a while. The game of recording YouTube videos, but hopefully I get better. Because there's so much I want to teach, all the stuff I know. I don't know everything at all, but I do know a lot about, you know, good web development. So yeah, see you later, alligator.